Hi, guys. Welcome to your lesson on trait theories of personality and measuring personality. So, we're going to start off by talking about what is a trait. It's a characteristic pattern of behavior or a disposition to feel and act in certain ways as assessed by self-report inventories and peer reports. So, are you logical, emotional, solid, unreliable, hilarious, moody? How do psychologists use traits to describe personality? Trait theorists such as Gordon Allport, Isabel Briggs Myers, and her mother, Catherine Briggs, were concerned less with explaining individual traits than with describing them. Tests designed to sort people into personality types, such as the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, the MBTI, have been used in business and career counseling, but may have outlived their validity. What are the limitations of relying on traits to classify individuals? Classifying people as one or another distinct personality type fails to capture their full individuality. We are each a unique complex of multiple traits. Instead, by placing people on several trait dimensions simultaneously, psychologists can describe countless individual personality variations. What are two possible dimensions on which to place people? So British psychologist Hans Eysenck and Sybil Eysenck believed that we can reduce many of our normal individual variations to two dimensions: extroversion, introversion, and emotional stability or instability. So if you look at this diagram, it has top and bottom as unstable or stable, and then left to right, introverted, extroverted. So if we look up at the top right, for example, we have unstable, extroverted characteristics as being active, optimistic, impulsive, changeable, excitable, aggressive, restless, and touchy. Whereas if you look at the bottom left, we have introverted, stable, passive, careful, thoughtful, peaceful, controlled, reliable, even-tempered, calm. How has the idea been tested? People in 35 countries around the world, from China to Uganda to Russia, have taken the Eysenck personality questionnaire. When their answers were analyzed, the extroversion and emotionality factors inevitably emerged as basic personality dimensions. What is introversion? Introversion is not shyness. Shy people remain quiet because they fear others will evaluate them negatively. Introverted people seek low levels of stimulation from their environment because they're sensitive. For example, when given lemon juice, introverted people salivated more than extroverted people. An introverted person may attend a party along with an extroverted person and have a great time. When the party's over, the introvert goes home and puts their feet up. The extrovert wants to keep the party going. What makes an extrovert? Just because someone is successful, fun, or talks a lot around others, don't assume they are extroverted. They may be an introvert that is using all of their energy toward that event. Later, they will want to reduce the stimulation. Western cultures prize extroversion. 80% of Westerners want to be more extroverted. Being introverted seems to imply that we don't have the right stuff. Attractive, successful people are presumed to be extroverts. What is personality inventory? This is an objective questionnaire, often with true, false, or agree, disagree items, on which people respond to items designed to gauge a wide range of feelings and behaviors, used to assess selected personality traits. The classic personality inventory is the MMPI, the Minnesota Multiphasic Personality Inventory. What is the MMPI? This is the most widely researched and clinically used of all objective personality tests. Originally developed to identify emotional disorders, still considered its most appropriate use, it is also used in employment situations to assess personality characteristics. All right, so how is the MMPI designed? Over 500 empirically derived self-report true-false questions, such as nothing in the newspaper interests me except the comments, are asked. Answers are then compared to answers given by people diagnosed with depression, schizophrenia, antisocial personality disorder, and other disorders. The more similar the respondents' answers are to those clinically diagnosed, the more indication exists that the person may be suffering a disorder. What is an empirically derived test? So a test such as the MMPI, created by selecting from a pool of items those that discriminate between groups. Personality inventories are scored objectively. Objectivity does not, however, guarantee validity. The researchers grouped the questions into 10 clinical scales, including scales that assess depressive tendencies, masculinity, femininity, like how rigidly one conforms to gender stereotypes, and introversion, extroversion. Today's MMPI-2 has additional scales that also assess work attitudes, family problems, and anger. Which traits provide useful information about personality variation? Today's trait researchers believe that simple trait factors such as the Eysenck's introversion, extroversion, and stability-instability dimensions are important, but that they don't tell the whole story. A slightly expanded set of factors developed by Robert McCrae and Paul Costa, dubbed the Big Five, does a better job. And you guys either have already taken or will take these personality tests in this unit as part of your Explorers that go with your personality portfolio project. So what are the big five personality factors? We have got conscientiousness, agreeableness, neuroticism, emotional stability versus instability, openness, extroversion. So around the world, across 56 nations and 29 languages, in one study, people describe others in terms roughly consistent with this list. What is conscientiousness? Highly conscientious individuals tend to be highly organized with great attention to detail. They are also goal-oriented and driven to succeed. What is agreeableness? People high in agreeableness are cooperative, empathetic, and caring. They enjoy helping and being part of a group. And if you notice, we can have a memory tip with this. Picture a canoe will help you recall these. And the first letter of each of these categories spells canoe. Neuroticism. People high in neuroticism experience mood swings and are often irritable. They worry about many things and get upset and anxious easily. Openness. People tend to be creative and adventurous. They enjoy trying new things and taking on new challenges. And people high in extroversion are outgoing and gain energy from being with others. They like to meet new people, start conversations, and have a wide variety of friendships. Are personality traits consistent over time? In some ways, our personalities seem stable. Cheerful, friendly children tend to become cheerful, friendly adults. But it's also true that a fun-loving jokester can suddenly turn serious and respectful at a job interview. New situations and major life events can shift the personality traits we express. What is the person-situation controversy? Our behavior is influenced by the interaction of our inner disposition with our environment. Still, the question lingers, which is more important? When we explore the person-situation controversy, we look for genuine personality traits that persist over time and across situations. Are some people dependably conscientious and others unreliable? Some cheerful and others dour? Some friendly and outgoing and others shy? If we are to consider friendliness a trait, friendly people must act differently. Friendly people must act friendly at different times and places. Well, do they? Is that true? Is personality stable? With age, personality traits become more stable as reflected in the stronger correlation of trait scores with follow-up scores 7 years later. So again, with age, personality traits become more stable. Do traits equal behaviors? Although our personality traits may be both stable and strong, the consistency of our specific behaviors from one situation to the next is another matter. I'm going to France. I'm a different person in France. So I think this is going to be one of the world's quickest psych lessons ever, but we're going to end off with, when do environments limit or encourage expression of traits? In unfamiliar formal situations, perhaps as a guest in the home of a person from another culture, our traits remain hidden as we carefully attend to social cues. In familiar, informal situations, just hanging out with friends, we feel less constrained, allowing our traits to emerge.